Hi Planner Besties, in today's video we're starting a new series and I'm going to teach you guys how to make your own planner stickers. First video was requested by our very own Sonia. She wants to know how to make script stickers because she doesn't like her own handwriting, and I feel like this is something we can all relate to. So I'm going to show you how you can match your stickers to any kit and make your own script so you don't have to write. You can have just an entirely stickered up spread if you want. So let's get started. There are two places that I like to purchase my fonts from. Now you can look on websites for free fonts, and we'll go over those as well. So paid fonts are ones that you can use commercially or personal font. So the first website that I like to get fonts from is going to be, fontbundles.net. Alright, so fontbundles.net offers bundles of fonts at a really reasonable price. Usually it has one, every few weeks or monthly that you could get. So this one is the one that's up right now for featured deal, and it is $19. So for $19, you get all these fonts included. Well, these are some nice fonts. This is cute. I don't have this one, so this might be something I'm going to pick up myself. Madison Tail. That's really cute. It's like mermaid. And then it does show you down here, and you can actually type in a word. If it's, say you're wanting to make certain type of font and you are trying to find the best one, this is a perfect way to do that. But I'm also going to show you another little trick here in a minute. So, the other place I purchase fonts from is Creative Market. Creative Market you can buy all kinds of stuff from. They have stock photos, graphics, templates, just everything you can think of. They also have font bundles. You can get a ton of fonts here. This is one of my other favorite places that I like to buy font from. So, the next place is also another great place for bundles of sorts, and it's kind of the same company as Font Bundles, and this is Design Bundles, but a lot of these like craft bundles come with some pretty cool stuff. Like this one's the impressive font bundle, and you pick this one up for $24. But this one has all kinds of stuff. It's not gonna just be fonts, it's gonna be all sorts of stuff, which some of them are really cool. You could turn these like coffee things into stickers, or there's a lot of possibilities in these designer bundles. And I have purchased several of these. This like half would be really cool foiled for a sticker. You really can use your imagination and get some pre-made stuff. But these usually do come with a couple fonts, and these are the fonts that you get specifically with this bundle. So if you were looking for something and a little bit extra, this would be a perfect opportunity to grow your designs. They do also have free stuff. So with your design bundles, these are the items that you can pick up for free. And the same with font bundles. They do have a free section, and these are refreshed frequently, so you'll be able to pick up some free fonts here. So I would check the free section out pretty frequently. So let's go ahead and talk about how to get the font. So let's just add some of these free fonts here. This one's cute. I don't have this one. So log in. I don't know what I used to log in, so we'll just try that. Alright, and then we logged in. Obviously, I already have an account, so I'm going to click on download for free. And it's going to download it. Okay, so I'll go back here and I'm going to click on extract. And then I'm going to go back into it. And then you're going to see like open, typeface, and true. These are basically the same. I usually just install one. And then you just double click it and click on install. Okay, so this one was called Margaret River. Now, if we go to Silhouette Studio, Margaret River's not going to be in there. So we're going to have to, with the program, reopen it for this font to show up. So downloading and installing fonts is really simple. Okay, on to the freebies. datfont.com is going to be your source for completely free fonts. I don't often use these because I don't want to accidentally choose a free font that is for personal use only. I want to make sure I'm using fonts that I can sell with. So I don't very often install these unless it's something I really like. So if it's something I really like, there's typically a donation for licensing. So if I wanted to purchase this, I would just go here. So I do try to do all this. I've actually never seen this website before. And it looks like they have a bunch of fonts as well. So, you know, just because I showed you 2 places, there's always going to be lots of other sites and stuff that you can get for free. Alright, so we are going to close out of these windows. And we're going to go ahead and open Silhouette Studio. Now, I do use version 4.3 because it's the most stable for me. I did go up to 4.4 and had massive issues, so I downgraded. So this tutorial is going to be using 4.3. And then I want to open up some files here. So I'm going to open up these. Okay. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is talk about Silhouette Studio. So Silhouette Studio is a free program for anyone to download. You can get it at silhouetteamerica.com. Okay. silhouetteamerica.com. This is the current version. Oh, and look, they took 4 out altogether. See, like I said, 4.4 was horrible, so like you can't even download it anymore. Interesting. So, with that being said, it looks like they stepped back on that another time. So you can go ahead and get your free Silhouette Studio here. Okay. Now, I do see that this is a little blurry, and when you open up my files, if you notice this, don't freak out. It's just because I use a high DPS file, and it doesn't render right in Silhouette Studio sometimes, but it will print perfectly fine, even if it's blurry in your screen. It's just how the software handles the graphics, and the, you know, it doesn't, like, well, I won't get into why it does that. Just know that if you zoom in and probably zoom back out, it will fix it. Anyway, like I said, it's just how it renders. It doesn't change how it's going to print. So here we have one of the files, and what we're going to do is we're going to talk about like how you can add font in that matches. You really would need to know what type of font the person is using. If there's a specific file of mine, you can always ask me and I will tell you what fonts I use. Right now, these are a combination of a couple succulent, breaking bread, and chunky taffy, I think it's called. Let's see. think it's Chunky Taffy or something like that. I'll link them below. I don't hide what, yeah. So we got Breaking Bread. That's this font here. And this font up here, I'm pretty sure is Chunky Taffy, because that's like my favorite too. Yeah, and that's Chunky Taffy. And then like the one that says the right here, that's Succulent. Succulent Catchwords. Okay, so those are the 3 fonts that I typically use. This one right here, nothing to see here, is something else. Anyway. So what I need to do right now is drop down a version because not everybody has Business Edition. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to view this in Designer Edition. If you do not have Designer Edition and you really want to design your own stickers, I really do recommend that you pick that up. You can typically find the upgrade on Amazon for approximately $40. As you can see, that's where I purchased mine 5 years ago. So, there you go. And I was also going to talk about the Silhouette Cutting Machine. So, I also purchased in 2005. So, 2005 is when I started making stickers. Wow, that's crazy. Anyway, the Silhouette 2 is a great starter cutter. If you're only going to be making stickers, it's about $100 plus cheaper than the Cameo 4. So it has an auto blade. It cuts standard letter size paper. So if you're only going to be using it for cutting stickers, this is a really great alternative to spending the $200 plus for the Cameo 4. And Amazon's a good place to pick that up at. I do not recommend, see here, $278 versus $279. And I'm pretty sure I paid a lot more for mine when it first came out. Okay, so that's the basics. So let's actually get into creating the sticker. So I have this files open because I want to show you how you can make specific stickers to fit inside these little boxes here and make sure they're the correct size. Now, if you knew exactly what you want on, you could even just stick it here now and print it. So what you're going to have to do is open up this little text window, and we're going to have to choose the font we want. You can select up here and type in like an M. It is going to take you to the M's. I don't remember what that free font we did, Margaret River. So we're going to just use Margaret River as a test right now. And then I'm going to go over here and hit this right here. And then I'm going to type in the thing I want, shopping. Okay, so this is a all cap font, which isn't bad. So, but you see it's like outlined. So we're going to have to open up the line style panel as well as the fill panel. Okay, one thing. As you notice, I have lots of windows open at once. If yours will only let you open one window at a time, click down here to the preference panel and then to defaults and change panel mode to multi-panel mode and then hit apply and OK. Then you'll be able to open multiple panels at once. Alright, so here we go. We have our shopping. We don't want it to have a red cut line, so I'm going to put no cut line, and I'm going to fill it with black for now. Okay, I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to change the font size to about a 16, just to get started. Then what I want to do is see if it's going to fit. So about a 16 typically fits in here, but I'm going to go ahead and try a couple other fonts for you guys as well. So we're going to get up a couple fonts here. So you can always copy and paste the word and edit it. Let's try the font that matches. Let's see. Okay, now this font's a little differently. So this is going to be obviously way too small. So I'm going to probably bump that up to a 24. And this is the same font that I use for my headers. So it would match perfectly. So the next thing you want to do is select your fonts that you want to create cut lines for. And then we're going to go to the offset panel and just click on offset. It's going to put big red cut lines. So offsetting. I recommend that you put or get your font in the size that you want it before you start offsetting. And then we're going to just try to change the 1 to a 0 and then hit the enter key. And that's going to drop it down. And at this point, I kind of look at it and I'm like, that definitely is not going to work. So I'm going to hit a 35 and hit enter. I want to see what 40 looks like. So I'm going to go to 40. And I feel like this is enough space around it, maybe a little bit more. So I'm going to just go back down to 35. Hit enter and then apply. Okay, so these look pretty good. I can go ahead and cut those and we're going to put them on a new page. Okay. Let me just change this. Okay. So the media mat is gone. That's why it looks weird. And the transparency is set to 100. So I'm going to put that back the right way. Put the orientation the right way. Show a print border and a cut border. And then I'm going to hit paste in front. And then I can start basically cutting these fonts. Now obviously you want to go ahead and make all the scripts you want. Like I said, you can copy and paste. Just Control V it a bunch of times and then go back in. Control A to select all. To do. And on and on. So a couple tricks. Words that are spaced out like this. Let's just do a few. Oops. Okay. And I want to change this font here to my other favorite font, Totally Really. And this obviously is going to be too big, so I'm going to change it down a little. It's probably to about an 18. Let's go with 16. Yeah, okay. So let's go ahead and put cut lines on all of these. We can select multiple at a time. And go ahead and hit offset. And then we went with the 35, so 035. I'm going to hit enter. And now you can see where shopping list and to do, if we hit apply, are going to be separate, and we don't want that. So what we can do are, let's go ahead and delete these red cut lines. Okay, so two things you can do is here, you can adjust the character spacing, and that's going to kind of smash them together. If you have a font that's a little bit far off, like this one, we could probably smash in a little bit. And that might help get it together so there are no more like dips and stuff in it. But this is still not going to do it. So what you're going to have to do is just ungroup it. So right click, click ungroup, select your list, highlight shopping. Then you can use the arrow key and just move it in slightly. And then I'll show you. Alright, so these are okay. Let's just move these out of the way. And we're going to go ahead and offset these again. Okay. And then I'm going to hit enter and apply. Alright. So let's zoom in here so we can see this a little bit better. Okay. To do, we didn't touch because I wanted to show you guys. This is just not going to work. So you have to move it together, or you're going to have two words separately. This one worked out really well. Now, you can manipulate the lines here. So there are a couple ways to do. We're going to have to make sure we're selecting the red line, double click on it. It's going to open a point editing window, and then we can delete some of these points. You can also click on simplify, and it will simplify them and make them less. But you don't want to do this too much because it's going to mess it up. If you keep simplifying it, I'll show you guys. It's just going to keep taking away points, but it doesn't, like, it loses some of the shape. So I don't like to use simplify a bunch, but it can be helpful to hit it maybe like once or twice. So the best thing is just to delete the points to get rid of any big dips. Like if you're not happy with the way it is, like if you want this to be together. So I might add a couple points in and then delete these. And then that goes away. Now on this one, you can see where we changed, lost my font window, where we changed the spacing, and you can see the little top, tags of the ends sticking out. So you want to be careful when you're playing with character spacing. Now line spacing is just like if we had more than one line. Like if we hit enter and we put list here, we could change the spacing in between the words. So that's what that does. Okay, so in order to group words together, you basically do the same thing. I would choose shopping, say that I want a completely different font for list. I'm just going to type out the word list, and then I'm going to click on it. I'm going to hold down control, and you'll see that control changes it to a little dropper, and if I click that, it's going to change it and make it the same as shopping. That's a good starting point. And then I can go in here and I can play around with all my fonts to find one that I want to go with it. So say this is it. This is a little bit smashed together, the I and the L. I don't like that. So I might just select those two letters and hit spacing, or I can ungroup it and move that out and then regroup it. These are some of the things that I do when I'm creating lists or creating fonts. So I really like the way this looks here, but I feel like shopping is a lot thicker than list. So there's some things we can do for that. We can play with the line style. So we already have it up here. So we can click on line, choose the color black, and then go to this panel here for line style and increase the thickness. And that's going to kind of, increase the font thickness so it matches list, or list matches shopping. So that's a little tip too. And then I can go ahead and ungroup this and space it out just a little bit more. Alright, so as you notice on my word art, some of my fonts have hearts. So if you have a heart that you want to put in it, you can. So let's try that. I need to open a file and get a heart. Excuse me if I sneeze, I feel like I have one coming. Oh, well, we can use these shapes up here. That must be a designer edition only thing. Different studio versions have different abilities, and mine has a pretty cool shape. So let's go ahead and go back to open that file. I get so used to what's in Designer Edition that I forget that you guys may not all have the same capabilities. So I want to open my word art page, my design file, because I want to get my heart. Okay. One of the reasons I like the Breaking Bread font is that it already has like a heart in the eye. Let me go ahead and just paste this here. I want to color change it to black, so I'm just going to piggyback off that. Okay. So I want a little heart. I can just drag that in, pop it over, and then group these together. So I've grouped those all together, but I also want to show you guys a little something else. So if I click on shopping, I'm going to change this font. If you go up here to glyphs, sometimes your fonts will come with extra letters that aren't in normally. So this one, as you can see, doesn't really come with a lot of stuff. But if I change the font to Breaking Bread, and then now I go here to glyphs, I'm going to select this eye because it has one that has like a little heart on it. So I'm going to scroll through here and find that. Alright, we're almost there. Nope. It's here somewhere. There it is. And I'm going to click on that. And then it changed it to a little shopping with a heart. Okay, then we can put list back there. And then I want to show you one other thing. This font also has, so some of your fonts might separate and they might have like special characters in a different font by itself. And with Chunky Taffy, it does. So you have Chunky Taffy and then you have Chunky Taffy 3, which are a bunch of different little characters, like little hearts, little things, you know, that you can add to your fonts to make them different. This has just all kinds of stuff, but that glyph tab is really beneficial to check and see what kind of extras are with the fonts when you purchase them. So this one has like these 3 little hearts, so we're going to grab those and we can copy and paste it a couple times, and then we can make it a different size. And this is kind of cute to add in, you know, wherever you want. You can object it, mirror it horizontally so it flips a different size. And then you've seen you've added a little bit of, you know, something a little extra to your word art. So I'm going to group this together just to keep it a little bit easier. So then the next thing that we need to do is make cut lines for these guys. And we do it basically in the same way. We go here to offset. It's going to put that in black, and I'll explain that in a minute. So we need to go ahead and start with 35 because that's what we've been using for the other ones. I do like to keep them consistent. Before I've hit apply, I want to go back here to line style, and I'm going to change the thickness to 0 because, well, maybe it's wanting to act up. Okay, come on. Alright, and then I'm going to change the line style to red. And then I'm going to hit apply. This one actually worked out perfectly. I don't have to really change any of the points, but if you wanted to, you could get rid of these points up here. So it kind of looked like that. So that's pretty much how you do it. It depends on the grouping of the words and where you put them together in order to see how, you know, the lines are going to be faring. Like if we went back, ungroup this, put this here, we can drop this little heart in here. I'm going to mirror that puppy and I want to put it on an angle. And then I'm going to go ahead and group these back together. It just helps when you're moving them around on the page. And then hit offset. And then I want to show you one other little trick. 035, enter, and apply. It's going to go back to that black color, but of course I can go ahead and hold down Control, and you see it changes it, and then kind of hover over the red line, and it will copy the color. So the reason it made that black instead of red is because we have list. It has that black outline to make it thicker. So that's why it's just like taking the existing line style and then offsetting that. So that's why it did that. So then if I wanted to, I'm gonna create a line about right here. Create one, and then I'm gonna go ahead and delete these points. And that looks good. I might do the same for over here. I don't need to create a point because I want it to just continue right there. And delete that point. So that's how basically I make fonts for, or word art or scripts, as whatever you want to call them. Now if you wanted to make new headers, you can. The easiest way, honestly, is going to be going to, where are those? Like they're right here. Okay, so you already have the cut file. You can use the cut lines. Ungroup them, pull it in here, click copy. We're going to paste off to the side. We're going to take this, and we need it to be a specific color. So we're going to go fill, and then fill it with this color. Then we can take it to our other page where we were working on stuff. Oops. And paste it here, and then we can add font to it. So say that's the font that you wanted to add, or you want to match it. Since I use shopping, I think it's Breaking Bread and 20 maybe. Oh, that made it 2000. No. 22. Okay, and then you can change it to white. Okay, so we want to select both of these, and then we're going to go here to the transform panel. We're going to go horizontal center, vertical center, and that's going to kind of center it, but the font doesn't always work vertically, so I want to eyeball that. So I want to just select the font and kind of eyeball it. So we have our own header. And like I said, you can use the other printable to kind of gauge to make sure that your font is correct. And you can always add font into your printable before you print. So you can use those all as your guides. Alright, so how do you get these to print? Well, you can fill up your page, turn on your registration marks, put them all in here, and then what we'll have to do is go here to send. So say we have this ready to go, we're going to click on line. We're only going to check the red. We might have a couple different color reds depending on what you clicked. So make sure the cut lines that you made are what you need to cut. And then you're going to have to change the material. I typically just use sticker paper white. Sticker paper white. And then I don't have a machine turned on, so it's going to look a little different here. Well, let me turn on my machine so I can talk to you guys about the settings that are specific. Alright. Now that we have the machine turned on, there it goes. Give it here a second. It's going to register that the machine is connected. And right here it says it is available. So let's go ahead and click that. It's ready. Now, as you can see, mine has 4 because I do have a Cameo 3 and a Cameo 4. So now my 4s say they're ready, and my 3s are showing as unavailable because they are not, or my 3 is showing as unavailable. Now the reason there are 4 is the connection method. Bluetooth, Bluetooth, USB, USB. These are the same machine. Each machine is hooked up via Bluetooth, and I can connect via USB if I want, or Bluetooth and or USB. So it's the same exact machine. The best part is with Business Edition, I can print and cut from both machines at one time, choosing which one through this area. Okay, so we have our settings, and we have to mess with the force and the speed. It's very important for scripts that you turn the speed down. I would turn it down all the way. It's going to take a lot longer, but it's going to produce a better cut. The force is going to be different for everyone, depending on the sticker paper that you use. I typically use a 2 and a 6. So those are my favorite settings, but you would need to just test it to see which one works best for the paper that you're using. And then you can go ahead and get those sent to cut. Now you can make cute little boxes like I do with mine. I would choose a box in a different color of a line. So we have a box. You can then, this is usually what I do, is I make 4 of them. So I just hold down Control, hit the arrow buttons to make duplicates. Then I'm going to select all of the blue lines while I'm holding down Shift. And then I'm going to size them together so I know what size I can fit. And then I can just move the fonts that we just made. Wow. I should have moved those out of the way first. Within the little lines, that way when they cut, they cut into little sheets that I can then store a little bit easier. So I hope that you found this informative. If you have a suggestion for our next tutorial, please leave it in the comments. If there's something you want to know how to do, or if there's something that I missed that you wanted to know about scripts or making your own word art, also let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching and supporting me throughout the years. I appreciate it so much, and that's why I like to share my knowledge with you and the way I do things. Like I said, I started making stickers back in 2015, so I've been doing this for about 5 years now, and I absolutely love it. You can always join our Facebook group. We have a newsletter that I send out frequently free stuff on. I'm starting to get back into that. So again, make sure you thumbs up and like this. Well, I guess that's the same. Thumbs up, like video. Thanks guys. Bye.